Good morning, boys and girls, and happy Friday. All right, we are starting Unit 12 in our reading skills. So we're going to start with a quick review of our tricky sight words. All right, ready? This time on my tap. Ready, go. Right, Y. Hope you can hear my tap. Word. When. Was. All. Of. Straighten you out. The. Right, which. So. What? See if you remember it. It's yesterday's new word. I'll give you a longer pause. Once, like once upon a time. All right, ready for our next part. Okay, boys and girls, our next part of our skills is a new Zach and Ann story. Our Zach and Ann story is called The Tent. I'm not sure how much you know about a tent, but many people might set up a tent outside when they go camping. It's a place that you can stay in outside that gives you shelter from the rain. So if you're camping, you might sleep in the tent, put some sleeping bags in the tent. So as I read to you, I want you to think about where Zach and Ann are when they're setting up the tent. Where are they? And how do they feel about the tent? What happens to the tent? What happens to Zach and Ann? And what gets in the tent? Mystery, mystery, mystery. So we know we're going to go to our table, not of continents, our table of contents. All right, do you see this story? The tent. The tent. All right, follow, follow, follow. Ooh, what page? Right, 42. Page 42. Oops, I'm very close to it. There's page 39, 41, 42. All right, follow my finger. The tent. Once Zach's dad got the kids a tent. Zach and Ann set up the tent. Then the kids sang a song. This big tent, it is the best, is the best, is the best. This big tent, it is the best. Yes, it's the best. Don't mind Mrs. Hannigan's singing voice, but let's take a look at Zach and Ann's tent. Wow. Would you like to be in a tent like that? I think I would. That looks like a really fun tent. All right, let's turn the page. The kids had fun in the tent. But then a big wind hit the tent. Flop! The tent fell on Zach and Ann. Do you remember what Monday's weather was, boys and girls? It was really, really windy that day. I know outside of my house a big tree blew down. Let's look and see what the wind did to the tent. Oh, no! Look at Zach and Ann. Look at the tent. You can see the wind blowing. I wonder what will happen. Then Zach felt a drip. Drip, drop, drip, drop, splish, splash, splish, splash. Zach and Ann got wet. The kids set the tent back up. Well, good for them for not giving up. They're going to set the tent back up again. Look, you can see the raindrops falling on them. Let's see what happens when the tent gets set back up. Red ants got in and bit Zach. A slug got on Ann. Once the ants and slug got in, that was it. Zach and Ann ran from the tent. Oh no! Red ants and a slug. That would be enough to make me leave the tent too. All right, look what we have left. Our final capital letters. Okay, so we're going to learn the proper strokes in them. In what letter is that? Right, X, Y, and Z. All right, so look at X. What strokes are you seeing? Yeah, you're seeing diagonals, right? So we have a diagonal to the right, diagonal to the left. Can you trace that in the air? Diagonal right, diagonal left. One more in the air. Diagonal right, diagonal left. Now look at Y. How are the strokes in Y the same as the strokes in X? Yeah, look. They each have a diagonal to the right and a diagonal to the left. So if I kind of cover up the bottom diagonals in X, it looks just like the top of Y. What's different is that Y's diagonals stop at the dotted line and then they meet with a straight line down. So let's try it. Diagonal right, stop at the dotted line. In the air though for you. Diagonal left, straight line down. Ready? Diagonal right, diagonal left, straight line down. One more. Diagonal right, diagonal left, and straight line down. Good job. Let's go to the letter Z. Well, so we see a horizontal, a diagonal, and another horizontal. So when we do Z, we say line across, diagonal down, line across. Try it in the air. Line across, diagonal down, line across. Try one more in the air. Ready? Line across, diagonal down, line across. Great job. What are your two tricky words? One, like I have one marker, and once, right? Once. Once upon a time, there lived a green dragon and a princess. One and once. So be careful how you're forming your letters as you do it. Think about the word, think about how you could use it in a sentence as you go. Okay, your next page in your worksheets, you have your tricky words in a box, 2 tricky words. And you have to read the sentence and decide which tricky word you're going to write in the sentence. All right, so you have 4 of those. Make sure you're checking out those tricky words, those sight words. Okay, for your next worksheet, you have some questions from the story, The Tent. So I'm going to send the story, The Tent. I'm going to send it in another attachment to Seesaw, since Seesaw won't let me attach the story plus these worksheets all at once. So I'm going to send that separately so you can read that to a grown-up and then answer your questions here, okay? So again, if you're doing number 2, whether you're doing it in writing or you're doing it on the microphone, you need to use a whole sentence, right? You are so smart. So when it says, what hit the tent, don't just give me a word or two. You're going to tell me, well, blank hit the tent. Okay, I have one more activity for you. Okay, if you already completed your math, you know you saw an exit ticket. An exit ticket shows me that you know something about something. So your exit ticket in math was letting me know where I made a mistake in my counting groups of 10. This time, think about what you know about capital letters. And I have this sentence here. Think about what you know about sentences. Sentences need things. All right, they need something at the beginning. They start with something. They all end with something. They should make sense and be a complete thought. So your job is to read my sentence and really look at it. And using the microphone, tell me where my mistake is. Tell me where my mistake is so I can fix it. I need to fix my mistake. All right, I can't wait to see your answers.